All right, welcome back. Not going to want to miss this week's episode. We got a lot to talk about. Everything from door panel gaps, new mirrors, the mocking up of the bed system, drip rail removal. Plus, I want to update you with finally meeting the guy who owns this. So you're not going to want to miss this. So stay tuned. All right, check engine lights on. Time for an update video. We got a good one here for you this week. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to go over, so sit down, grab yourself a beverage like always, and enjoy the show. But without further ado, long time no see. Thanks for tuning back in. If you're new to this, can't wait for you to dive in with us and go from there. So here's to you guys. Thanks for stopping in. Pinky's out like always. So if you don't know, this truck here is going to Honolulu, Hawaii whenever it's all said and done. So that's pretty exciting in and of itself. But that being said, the owner is there. So I have never met the owner personally, but we had a special guest show up. So the owner actually came. We got to sit down and have a discussion about what's going on with this truck, where we want this truck to end up being. And we have a shitload of surprises. Last time we were working on the drip rail and tightening all this stuff up, and that's what we're going to go over here in a minute. I just wanted to give you a little walk around what's going on here. So I'm excited because this truck is headed to another place that I wasn't expecting, and we're going to dive into that. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me get this camera spun around and we'll go around the truck. So, like I said, the owner came, and I'm pretty excited about it because we got a lot of shit that's going to go on around here, and we got a lot of surprises coming up, and we're going to be heading in a direction that I was hoping we were going to go, but at the same time, you know, it was completely up to the owner, and we are going to be sitting pretty here soon as far as this build goes. You can see that we ended up putting some new mirrors on it. We also we got the drip rail system all squared away on both sides. We're mocked up the bed here. So we're going to go over all of this stuff, but just wanted to do a little quick walk around here to let you see what's going on. But let's start where we left off, which was in this area here. As if you remember the last time we ended up, we had all this that we had to tie into and everything. We had cut this drip rail off and we were welding up everything. Now you can see we have all the gaps squared away. I think I'm going to end up coming in because some of this area is just a little bit over 3/16, and that's where I want to be at before I start doing any body work and shit like that. And body work, I mean mud work and all that stuff. So you can see I still got the front here to do as far as this front fender and shit goes. You can see it's just not quite squared up the way I want it, but I had to get the door and everything fixed, and then the cowl has to be squared away in the hood. If you remember before, the hood's been such a fucking pain in the ass and all that shit. But you can see how we smoothed everything off. This used to have that piece that comes out and stuck out here. We smoothed everything off. There's been a lot of work done since the last time I talked to you, so forgive me if I look over something. If you have any questions about anything, put it down in the comments, and I'll try to hit it up the next time. But you can see with the doors, you can see I actually slit this piece the whole way, the whole rocker, so that I could get that to fit. Now, if you remember, we had fit these doors and everything in here because obviously we had to, but we didn't have the doors. So we were fitting everything, and then we fit to the drip rails and all that jazz. But now that we got rid of the drip rails, now we ended up having to really adjust accordingly. And so that's where we're at. But you can see all this ended up having to be welded in. And then we had to move the doors themselves to get everything close. And then we had to add metal into all this stuff. So you can see a couple of different So this weld seam on the back side's where everything came in, and I ended up welding everything together. And then I ended up, as far as when I mean everything together, I mean getting rid of the drip rail and welding all that stuff back together and removing that shit. So you can see how this door is going to fit and how that's going to be nice and smooth down the edge there. That's what we're shooting for. We want a modern style, but still being 67-ish. So we're going to go around this, and I'm going to show you everything. And we also did it on the other side, which I'll go over and show you that. If you remember the last video, this side was actually opened up. We ended up right in this area. We were working on this. So you can see all this is welded up and cleaned up, and we did the same thing down here. And as you can see, we're going to have to do some stuff with the cowl work and all this stuff and finish off the gaps. But you can see we ended up doing the same thing down here. This door's fitting a little bit better than the other side. All this is pretty much 3/16 the whole way around. There might be a little bit tight and a little bit tight and a little bit open here and there, but we're going to come in and we're going to do some file work and just the finishing off stuff here in a little while. But you can see this door's fitting pretty fucking sweet. I'm really digging how this came out. So here's the mirrors. These are from a 3rd gen Mustang. I was able to purchase these. It's nice because they already did the body work and everything for me, so this fits just perfect. So I was able to just throw them in. Now the cool thing about these is we actually have the lights in them, so these are all going to light up. You know, it's going to be LED in the whole 9 yards. It's going to be fancy and all that shit. So that's pretty excited about that. If you remember, this hood didn't fit for shit, so I did a little bit of work out here. I ended up removing some what am I thinking? Factory welds, if you would call them factory, since it's a repop, and adjusting everything in so that line right there is a little bit nicer. If you remember, this is a hell of a gap. So I moved everything in to try to get to this hood where it needs to be. If you remember this area down here, this stuff didn't line up. This was way out here. So I did the same thing. Actually, you can see I slit this and pushed everything back and welded it all back up just so I could get this shit to fit. Same thing right up here. You can see it just didn't match from here to here, which is common because it's all aftermarket bullshit. So you can see this side fits just a little bit better. Like I said, forgive me if I don't remember, if I go over some stuff, and if you guys that are actually following us see some shit that I haven't talked about, put it in the comments. I'll try to get it on the next video. But I'm pretty excited about how this all turned out. And here's the flush glass. It's going to be in it. I'm not unwrapping it just so you can see the damn thing. It just ain't going to fucking happen. So, but we mocked up the bed of where everything's going to be at. Now, these fenders, I ended up cutting and trimming and getting them so that they're going to fit just right in here, out and around all this shit and fancy in there, because I wasn't sure if we keep them low like this and then we build the bed to it, it's, all this room here so that I don't have a bunch of stones and shit flying up. It'll be all encased, which is good because that's the last thing you want. It's going to be more working as like a mud flap system at that point in time. But we want to try to keep everything, I mocked all this stuff up. I didn't finalize anything because the client and I just didn't have that. We were waiting for him to get here. So that being said, you can see how we're going to set everything up back here. This here, you can see it has a plastic base. We ended up purchasing the plastic fucking base, and it was a fucking headache. It was, if I was to redo it next time, I'm going to go with my gut, because that's what I should be fucking doing. If you guys are building hot rods or doing anything, go with your gut. If you've been doing it for a while and you feel good about it, just go with your gut. I knew more than likely I was going to end up having to do some custom work to this, which I ended up fucking doing anyway. So I might as well just bought all the extra piece and said, forget the damn plastic and just put it where I wanted it. You can see these pieces here. So this used to sit this high up into here. And so this was flipped around. I just put them back and wanted to tighten everything up because it needs to be fucking down so I don't have anything hitting up here whenever I encase the damn thing. So I ended up taking that off, and everything, all this shit was tucked up in. So all this stuff here, this stuff was up underneath here. All the wiring and everything was under there. It looked like shit. I'll put a couple of pictures on there because I think I got some final pictures of whenever I took it all apart. And anyways, I ended up having to cut. I had to cut some half an inch off of this side, half an inch off of this side to make it fit. But doing the way I did it, I was able to tidy up all the fucking wiring that was under here. I was able to move these compressors back up against it a little bit farther. And if you remember, I don't know if I showed this or not, but these air hoses where they were coming out actually stuck out over, so I was able to tuck everything back. This piece here was up underneath, so you couldn't even access it, and that's where you plug some shit in as far as like the controller and stuff goes. So that's where we're at with that. Fuse panel is going to be right here. Like I said, he's going to be in this vehicle a lot by himself. So we're trying to disperse the weight. So as you can see, a lot of the battery's fucking heavy. So he's going to be sitting over here, and we're going to try to put the weight over here just to try to balance it out a little bit for him. Obviously, he's a bigger dude. That battery and shit's not going to be the same weight as him, but I just don't want all the weight to be on the left side. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just, it's just the fucking way it is. But you can see all this stuff's just mocked up right now. Ended up putting a couple more support beams in here. So there's a beam underneath here, a couple of more beams under here, so that we can start boxing all this shit in. Because I got I got 18 gauge is what I use for all the metal work, and I'm using a lighter gauge so that we can start boxing all this shit in and tidying all this stuff up. So let's see. Oh, we did get the bumpers in. So here's the back bumper and here's the front bumper right here. So we're gonna end up doing quite a bit of work to this thing. So that bumper is going to it's going to be pretty sweet. Let me put this down. All right, so as you can see, we got the front bumper, we got the rear bumper. Now we're actually going to, if you take notice over here, I don't know if you can see this or not, but if you take notice over here, the way that this stuff is, you can see how everything's kind of comes down here. We're going to actually tie into this as far as the front of the truck goes. So as far as front of the truck goes, we're actually going to tie into the damn bumper here, because we're going to end up cutting along this body line right here, and we're going to end up taking the angles off of the front of the truck, and we're going to actually end up incorporating them into this, because we're going to end up putting some fog lights in here, and it's going to so we got the LED turn signals in the side. We're going to do some newer style. I don't know if we're going to do LEDs or not, but it's new cool looking shit in here. So this is going to be cut along this body line right here, and then it's going to have like an insert, and we're going to follow the body line of the actual existing hood, and it's kind of going to slit somewhere in here, maybe a little bit farther out, but we're going to have a slit that comes in here, and everything is going to be recessed in. And then you're going to have your fog lights in here somewhere. And then we're going to actually do somewhat of a chin strap here, which I'm pretty fucking excited about. Now, all that being said, the owner of the truck ended up coming out, and which was badass. The owner of the truck came out, and we sat down and we discussed where we were headed with this truck. And when we first started this truck, we weren't sure what direction we were going to go. So it turns out when I first met the owner of the truck, it was over via the phone because he lives in Honolulu, Hawaii. And trying to work with a guy in another, basically another country, we'll just go with that, another country, another part of the planet, not even on the same continent, you know, and it's pretty difficult, especially when he's skeptical about what's going on with his truck, because he ended up having to basically rescue this damn thing from the last person who was trying to build it. So anyways, I never met the guy, and it's been here for a while. If you guys have been following the channel, you know it's been here for a while. So that being said, we finally met. He ended up coming down, and he was here for like 4 hours, maybe even more. He's got a friend up in Michigan that he comes and visits off and on, and he came in, and both of them came down, and he was impressed and happy about what was going on. He's always been happy with what's going on. That's why the truck is progressing into what it is. At first, he said, put it together, get it squared away, and then we'll move on. He'll just make it a daily driver, blah, blah, blah. Well, we're still going to daily drive this thing, but we're going to go deeper than what we've ever expected. And that's why I'm sitting down for this. If you remember, we've been doing a lot of work around the hood, because the hood itself is a, you know, $3,500 carbon fiber hood, which is ridiculous, but it saves a lot of weight. But the problem is these, you know, following the all these videos, if you haven't, we've had to do a lot of work to it because it wasn't stored properly. So we ended up having to heat it up and shape it a little bit because it was so flat and blah, blah, blah. Well, anyways, we ended up discussing what's going on with it, and this is where the changes start happening. So get the fuck out of here, you fucking fly. So let me turn this back around, and we'll go for a walk around this, because I'm excited about what's going to happen. And it's going to, as a builder, I'm extremely excited about it, because I got a lot of opportunity to show off a lot of my skill and my ability to build vehicles. And this is going to be a showpiece, daily showpiece, basically. We're going to, you know, he wants this. This is going to be a daily driver for the most part, but he wants it to be what he wants. And the thing of it is, if you want it exactly the way you want it, it's going to have to end up being to that damn level. You got no other choice about it. It's just the way it is. It's the same thing as if I was to build a daily driver too, and we were this far into it, you know, just make it, just finish the damn thing, get it to where you want it, you know? So the whole idea and concept behind this is a modern, what's the word I'm looking for? Modern classic, basically. So, you know, we wanted to go a certain route with this, and we're in the middle of it, and we can't stop now. You know, he doesn't want any regrets with this build, which is great. I want to be able to showcase everything that I can, as much as I can. I can only go as far as a client will allow us to go. So that being said, this area here, you know, everything came out great. So this is where all the surprises are going to start happening. So let me spin this back around. Everything turned out great. You know, we can finalize this and finish it off, and I feel that we're in a good spot. But here's the kicker. You know, these body lines, this is a classic body line. You know, and the way that it comes across here, we're just fucking getting rid of that. We're gonna end up filling this area in. So in order to do that, we were looking at this, and we're actually, if you move this up, okay, to about right here, look how that body line is going to be. It's going to be extremely, what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to look modern if we just bump this line out. See that? We want the transition to just come straight into the glass, and then the same thing down here. So that being said, we're filling this shit in, and we're actually going to move this glass. If we move it all a quarter of an inch this way, it's going to pull this glass out to about right there, which is exactly, if you can see, if we pull it out that far, it's going to transition right into this. Real nice. So I'm trying to figure out, after I get this moved forward like that, I'm going to try to figure out how I'm going to incorporate that. I might have to add more metal. I might end up having to come back in here and slice this and then tuck this down in again so it comes down a little bit smoother. So there's enough area back there because I was in there to do all this shit. So that's where we're at with that. Now, that being said, you know, this area here might end up getting changed a little bit. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But like I said, you know, you can see how this bottom lip fits down in here. I don't know if I have, yeah, I do have this in here. Let me move that out. So once you move that out, you can see how nice that's going to fit. You see that? You see that? That's the modern shit that we're talking about. We want it to look like a modern truck with everything just rolling. And I've never seen it to where it's done that way up here. Usually they still keep this edge that comes down here and it ties into this shit. And some people, you know, say that you need to keep that because it doesn't look right and stuff. And like I said, we can keep this like this. I think the metal work and then the body work and everything afterwards, I think it'll end up looking good. But we're changing it. We're going to move this out a quarter of an inch. And that's when shit's going to get pretty fucking interesting. But it's going to be awesome. So that being said, that's the first change. Now, second change, we said about this hood just being a pain in the ass. We sat here and we discussed for a while about everything that we've had to do to get this to where it is and to get everything squared away for this front end to look like it does. Now here's the problem. We still have this issue. As you can see, these gaps are tight back here. You know, this whole, like the gap up front's not bad. I mean, this here is like 3/16. This is exactly what we're shooting for. But then it just tightens up the whole way to the back. And as you can see back here, everything fucking tightens up real tight. It's literally the same width as the hood. And we can't move that anymore because these doors have to be right here because we need to keep this smoothness going on right here. So once you change one thing, everything else down the line is. But we knew we were going to have some issues in here. And that's why I didn't do anything with it. The only thing I did was tidy up this front corner right in here because it was sticking out so damn far. It had to be done no matter what, whether it just had to be done. If you look here, this edge sticks way up. And in order to get that to fit properly, we can't cut into this carbon fiber hood. You know, that's just been the problem the whole time. So if we were to do body work and everything, this just would never line up. Either that or we'd, whatever. Just no bueno, right? Hence the reason why back here, this lower section, like I was showing before, this here I didn't finish because I didn't know what was going on with the fenders. So in order to make this fit, and in order to make this fit, we literally were going to have this, I was going to end up slicing from here the whole fucking way back all the way to here. And I was going to end up making a gap where I wanted it, just like I did with the doors. I'd end up slicing that and then knocking everything over and then re-welding that whole damn thing. But the kicker is, once I had it cut open, I was going to have to build everything up to this, you know, because you got this fucking gap right here and there's nothing I can do to this. And the more we looked at it, we decided for a surprise. So here's the other big surprise that's going to happen with this truck. This hood is gone. So we're just getting rid of the hood. It's just the way it's going to be. There's no other choice. There's no other way to go about it. It's just going to have to be that way, you know. It's just, we tried to figure out how we were going to do it, what we were going to do. And the more we talked about it, the more we thought about it, the more it was like, we just got to get rid of the damn thing. And, you know, with the cow being the way it is, bought this cow because it was all cleaned up. All this shit's supposed to fit, you know, all this shit, you're supposed to just put it the fuck on. Well, I saved weight by putting this on, which isn't carbon fiber, but this is fiberglass. So I can't cut this fucking thing up either. So I got a gap that runs across the front here. And so the thing of it is, you know, after we talked about this and talked about this and talked about this, the best thing for it was to just get rid of the shit. So that's what we're doing. You're going to go all metal. We're going all fucking metal. So if anybody wants a carbon fiber hood, it's for sale. But we're getting rid of this. Another thing we noticed was this is a double wall. Look at this. So if we were to open this up, I think I discussed this in previous videos, but look at this. So you would think that this would be sealed, but it's not. It's double walled. And I've never done this before, but he was looking at it, and the owner came over and he touched it, and look at this shit. Imagine that going down the road 80 miles an hour. That's all you're going to hear. So between everything that's going on and all the work that I'd had to do to the damn fenders and everything, we decided that we're just going to 86 the fucking hood, and we're going to buy a metal hood, and we're going to make it the way it needs to be, because it's just a pain in the ass trying to work around the carbon fiber. So if anybody wants a carbon fiber hood, fuck down in the comments, or just get on www.I.B.F.HotRods.com and shoot me a message. Find me anywhere where, you know, if you follow us here, I know you probably follow us all over the place. But anyways, another surprise, we decided to say fuck it, and we're getting rid of this damn cow. So if you want a fucking cow, you know, here's a fucking cow for you. And it turns out the bed, we had talked about doing a bed the way that we wanted. He had a company that makes a whole bed system. You can get kits and the whole 9 yards for this damn thing. But let me turn this around. I'll show you what's going on. So we decided that with the bed, we're just going to build our own system, because we want to be able to access all this shit whenever we can. And not only can we do metal work here at the shop, but I got everything to build fucking cabinetry. So I got a bunch of woodworking stuff, and that's what we're going to do with that. So we're going to build our own bed system. Now, that being said, we're going to end up making hidden compartments and areas. This is going to be this build is so that he can access stuff and he can work on shit. Half the reason we're building this, like if you've been following along with everything in the damn, in here, all this stuff in here, as far as the panels and stuff being removable and accessible, is so he can work on it, because he doesn't have the ability to, he doesn't have a custom shop over in Honolulu. So we're building all this shit that way. So that's what we're doing. Now, that being said, we're going to make a system for this bed that is going to be fucking trick. Trick is what the kids say. It's going to be trick, man. It's going to be fucking trick. So, yeah, we're going to start diving deep into this. And, oh, yeah, another surprise. This fuel cell just came along with the truck. It was free to them. That's going to be, we're getting rid of this because it's just, it's worthless to us. So we got a fuel cell for sale if you're interested in a fucking fuel cell. We got all sorts of shit for sale off this damn thing. But That's all the big surprises. We got one more big surprise. If you remember, we had talked about doing stuff with the dash here, and we also decided he's been pushing to do something special in here. So we were gonna bring some stuff off of here. Like, we were gonna try to keep it kind of stock looking, I guess. But we ended up deciding, or should I say, the owner decided that we were gonna custom make a dash. Now, my plan was to cut this off completely right here and just knock it all off. So from here down, everything was going to be a brand new custom dash. Now, he came in and he sat down in here and decided that we're just getting rid of the whole fucking dash. So all this is coming off, and this is all going to be a one-off custom dash. We're going to end up getting some wild gauges in here, whatever he wants. But that's the route we're headed with this. We're going even more custom than what we initially thought. And that's because the client, you know, he doesn't want any regrets with this truck. We should probably call it no regrets. Is what we should end up calling this. But the point of all this is he's happy with what we're doing. And that's what that means the world to me. For him to come the whole way from Hawaii and have trust in me to build him a fucking truck, maybe his dream truck, or, you know what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say here. The vision that I'm putting forth and our collaboration between client and builder, I can't ask for something better, because I'm going to be able to showcase this truck beyond what I thought from the start of it. And the truck itself is beyond what the start of it was for him as well, because of the fucking quality of work and the fucking what these dirty fucking hands are doing for this fucking truck. And that makes me excited and almost fucking tear up, because I take this shit serious, man. The whole reason why we started building vehicles on our own is because that wasn't happening where I was at. And it was, people were getting fucking ripped off and all that shit. Anyways, rant fucking over. I'm excited. The owner's fucking excited. If you've made it this far, you like what you've seen, like and subscribe, because that's the fucking way it goes. You know, throw me a fucking bone here. I make these videos to try to let people know that they can do it, and also kind of get some ideas. I know I don't go a whole lot of 1, 2, 3 step by step, but I mean, you got a fucking idea how to do it, you can go to another video. You can take my ideas and take somebody's fucking step-by-step procedure and go to town. You know what I mean? But anyways, let's get back to some shit here. As you can see here, if you haven't noticed from the shop, it's all fucking cleaned up. But guess what? Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We got some new apparel up in here. We got brand new hats. So if there's any hat on here that you like, let me know. We can get you some hats. Reach out to me, blah, blah, blah. You know how it goes. But we switched some stuff up. We got a special hat here. This, we went with the black, with the red front and a black F. Usually we got the red Fs, but I really, I can't be any more happy about how these hats turned out. So as always, we got the shirts for sale. We got some hats and shit for sale now. So, you know, if you're interested in some fucking hats, how about that? But yeah, we got some nice fucking caps here for you. So I'm sure they're going to go quick, but don't worry. The quicker these go, the faster we'll get more in. But a little update about the shop. We finally finished off the ceiling. It's nothing special. It's just painted. That shit was just, whatever the fuck the damn stuff is. just plywood or whatever. But yeah, we have everything squared away in here. We finally got all the trim and everything squared away. We got all that shit squared away. We got some stuff moved around. As you can see, we got everything tidied up. If you've been following this page, you know that the sheer amount of labor that's gone in to build this damn thing. The only thing we have to do yet is we got to finalize those doors that are going to go up there for the attic space, and we got this ceiling in here to do, and then we're squared away. So hopefully you enjoyed this week's episode or this update video, but we're going to get some shit squared away in here. Next week, well, this week is all about the Riviera. So we're going to fucking hammer this son of a bitch out. We're going to start, we got a little bit left to do as far as metal work goes, but then we're down the home stretch as far as tidying this thing up and getting it in fucking primer. That's where we want to be at. We had taken a break from that so we get this squared away because the owner coming. And yeah, stay tuned. Hopefully you liked it. It's a long one this week, but I don't give a shit. We had a lot to talk about. Stay tuned to next week because we're going to have a lot of shit to talk about the Riviera. I'm going to get that fucking thing squared away and that thing rocking and rolling. The owner took the frame and everything, as you know, and the frame's all cleaned up and shit. He's moving pretty good on that, so I got to catch back up with him. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, like, subscribe, reach out, buy a fucking hat, buy a fucking t-shirt. No more koozies. If you guys want koozies, let me know. I'll get another run of them going and all that stuff. Shout out to Wyotech as always. Wyotech! And check engine lights on. You know fucking work's going down. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, pinkies out. Cheers. Here's to you guys. Let me go get something to drink. It's water today. But yeah, cheers. Pinkies out, baby. All right. Over and out.